Welcome to Just Disciples. We explore the messy, vital space where faith meets justice. As we launch Season 2, we're diving into one of the most challenging intersections of all, the voting booth. Whether you've been with us since day one or are just joining the conversation, we're glad you're here as we consider what it truly means to let our deepest convictions lead the way when we cast our vote. How often have we been told that faith and politics shouldn't mix? Maybe there are good reasons for keeping them separate, but what happens when faith and politics don't just meet? What happens when they collide? If you're a person of faith who feels the growing tension between what you believe and what you see happening around you, you're not alone. Many of us are watching hard-won rights stripped away. We see policies that deepen inequality instead of healing it. We see leaders at every level choosing power, profit, and political gain over the well-being of the people they were entrusted to serve. We see violence and vengeance offered as substitutes for justice and diplomacy. For those who care about justice, it can feel like every door's been closed. We've marched. We've protested. We've called, emailed, testified, and shown up. And still too often, the people with the power to act seem more responsive to donors than to their neighbors. The will of the people is sacrificed on the altar of greed and corruption. But there's one thing they cannot ignore: our ballots, the votes that decide who earns the right to lead us. As I reflected on the power of voting, I found myself returning to a familiar story from Jesus, the parable of the sower. Jesus wasn't talking about elections, but there's still a lesson for us today in this parable. Some seeds fall on the hardened path that never takes root. That's what happens when we don't vote, or when our vote is cast without care or conscience. It never has the chance to bear the fruit of justice. Some seed falls among the weeds. This happens when fear and anxiety overpower discernment, when we elevate leaders who promise safety or certainty, even when their character and actions contradict the values we claim to hold. Fear may be a persuasive gardener, but it rarely produces good fruit. And then there's the seed that falls on good soil. It takes root, it grows, it yields an abundant harvest. Our votes can be like that. When we look beyond slogans and sound bites, when we discern character as carefully as competence, when we choose leaders who not only have the ability to govern, but the desire to pursue justice, our ballots can become seeds of justice that grow into something life-giving for our neighbors. In this season of Just Disciples, we're exploring what it means to let our faith shape our vote, not out of fear, but out of love. Through conversation, reflection, and honest wrestling, we'll talk about discernment, courage, and the sacred responsibility we carry when we step into the voting booth. And we'll ask how voting can be one of the most powerful ways we live out Jesus' command to love our neighbor. But before we go any further, we need to answer this one essential question: should people of faith be political? And that's the question that we are going to talk about in the very first episode of this series. If you've ever struggled with that question or felt caught between your beliefs and your ballot, this podcast is for you. Join us and let's seek faithful answers together.